Taurus, if you're having specific cravings, it's not your cravings, it's the person that you are synced to. So let me break that down for you because that's the channel message that I got. If you're craving drinking, smoking, the person that you're synced to, even if you don't drink or smoke, you're just picking up intuitively that that person is having withdrawals or they're craving drinking and smoking. Now, it doesn't have to be drinking or smoking. It can literally be craving a bag of potato chips, okay? And you know, only if you know that you don't normally crave bags of potato chips, then that particular channel message is going to be for you. Otherwise, let's talk about these dreams. Okay, something to do with dreams, feelings, and someone sending you telepathic messages about their next actions towards you, manifesting. Okay. I want you back. Something about Backstreet Boys is very significant. It's hard to say I'm sorry. Didn't know. Lesson you learn. Yeah, someone's in there. Feelings. I'm hearing Gloria. All right, I'm hearing Luther. I'm hearing Gloria. So there's something about someone is manifesting you halfway across the world, and they're singing sad love songs. It doesn't feel like sad love songs. It's like all the songs or all the things that remind them of you. You remind me of a girl that I once knew. Someone used to be a player. Someone used to really take advantage of love. This may be a continuous theme. All right, you may notice that this is a continuous theme with you where people are always trying to manifest you and they always desire you. They want to come in really quick. They're very ambitious. They may be very competitive. You may feel like at times they just love the challenge. Okay. For a lot of you, you may feel like these are people that just love the chase, the thrill of the chase of claiming you, of having you. But once they get you, they don't know how to keep you. Once they have you, they don't know how to treat you. Ha! Bars. Okay, so if that resonates with you, let's get these messages, okay? None of these messages are going to come up for no reason. And I know I've been seeing a lot of comments about everyone saying, I want new love. I want this person out of my energy. I mean, let's be real, you guys. There's like 21,000 people on this channel. And everybody is on different timelines and different levels of vibrations. And yeah, you may be saying, yes, I'm super patient because I'm aware of that. But what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Well, let me tell you. From my position of where I'm sitting, how do you think I feel about that? Every single day. Okay? So just like the grace that I extend to myself, I'm going to extend grace to everyone else. Bars. Yes. Even the relationships that feel karmic also are pivotal in our evolution. I want to talk about divine masculine, divine feminine. So something popped up on my news feed today. And it's the story of Shiva and Shakti. I think I'm saying their names right. And this is the yin and yang, divine masculine, divine feminine, from a particular culture, okay? Now, how the story is described, I'm going to summarize it. In a nutshell, divine feminine comes down like Barbie. If you've ever seen the movie Barbie, I'm going to try to draw the parallels to you. Think of Shiva and Shakti as like modern day Barbie and Ken, right? Every culture, America, think of them like a culture. So their culture would be Barbie, right? Barbie and Ken, because you can really see the correlation in it. So you know how the movie Barbie comes down from Barbie world and incarnates. In the story, so does Shiva, right? The supreme mother incarnates And pretty much everything on earth and creation is really her energy. Okay. Divine feminine energy. However, divine masculine stays in the spiritual realm from the standpoint of in a constant state of meditation through devotion. He stays in a constant state of thought, similar to how Loki ascends to that position of divine masculine energy and becomes like he who remains, essentially taking on that mantle and that responsibility to be the person that keeps the divine timeline, the glue, right? To avoid all these different branches of timelines being in a state of chaos, which is what the movie Loki was describing, right? A state of chaos, derivatives of time branching from the divine timeline, right? So tying all that back in, the divine masculine stays in a meditative state of thought, because it's the divine masculine, that concentration and devotion that brings things into manifestation, right? The I am presence. The divine feminine is like, I would describe the divine feminine as the high priestess, and in the physical flesh, right, incarnated in the physical flesh, she would be like the empress energy. Okay, it's descending to a state of being to walk among everyone else. So going through the natural full journey from birth into adulthood. So pretty much in the story, she has these dreams about Shiva, right? And she can't help but to be drawn to this energy. She longs for her divine masculine, okay, because she feels incomplete without him. So pretty much she goes on this journey, she finds him, she doesn't remember him, right? But he remembers her, everyone else remembers her, so she has a lot of fear that she has to break through. In that transition of fear, she's also coming against her father, who doesn't agree with who she loves. And in that phase of development, their first run-in together is pretty much like she gets triggered and she rescinds within herself so much to the point where she becomes so enraged that she rescinds into herself, and pretty much shutting out everyone to the point where she pretty much offs herself, in so many words, right? That's just how much anger she went through. She pretty much went through a metamorphosis. And so she becomes like the cosmos. And Shiva finds out about it, and he pretty much reacts to the situation by being so triggered to the point where he destroys everything. Okay, everyone and everything, and he has absolutely no remorse for it, because he, in his state of pride, right, something that was of value to him was pushed so far to the edge that it no longer wanted to be there, even with him. So that much pain of losing someone that you love, he went through the stages of grief. He ventured so far out to the point where he went back into his meditative state, and he never wanted to experience love again. So far removed and detached from love. So millions and millions of years pass, and he's still in his meditative state. The world is in a state of chaos. They pretty much need the divine masculine and divine feminine to get their shit together. But one is in the cosmos, refusing to, pretty much completely out of touch with creation. And so all this darkness starts to happen on the planet and in the cosmos, and things are not in a state of harmony and balance, which divine feminine, divine masculine is about harmony and balance, right? And so we're all playing this role of reincarnation to bring things back into harmony. We all are playing a role onto different timelines. And just like in the Umbrella Academy, there's so many timelines being expressed, but they all share a common denominator, and that is trying to bring it back to the divine timeline, the one true timeline where it was always designed to be this way before people start meddling with shit. So this is equivalent to going into that manifestation and going into the cosmos, right? Divine masculine, divine feminine. And with the world card, this is pretty much saying that in order for, just like in the story, in order for Shakti to pretty much reincarnate, yes, she takes on another body, but she's still the same spirit. This time it's a different feminine body, a different feminine time, and she has to age up again. She has to go through the birth cycle. She has to go through the parents and being incarnated. And then they go through these series of being awakening to who the soul is, who the spirit is. And when that happens, she goes on a journey because, again, she starts to get haunted by these dreams of a divine masculine that she knows is real, but she can't quite figure out how to connect that 5D connection, but she's telepathically receiving these messages. So essentially what I'm saying is you do have a person. You're not crazy. You're divine masculine if you're divine feminine. And if you are in a divine masculine energy, you would be so far detached and removed from love at this phase that you probably, love is the last thing on your radar. Okay. So pretty much this time around, because he's afraid of experiencing pain, the pain of losing Shakti again, what does he do? I mean, my boy goes ahead and he says, okay, we have this reincarnation, this new version of divine feminine. I can recognize that it's her spirit, but however, it's not enough, because as far as he was concerned, if you're still anything like the old Shakti that I remember, that was so selfish to the point where she disintegrated herself because she was triggered and left me here to live a life without her, then you have to have control over that rage. So he goes through these series of tests where he's testing her, right? He's testing her, taking her through the ringer, okay? And to divine feminine, it feels like rejection upon rejection, heartbreak after heartbreak. He will not take her back. He will not run off into this life of utter bliss with her. He will not, no matter how much she is trying to devote herself to him and all this other types of nonsense. And y'all can really resonate, right? As many divine feminine readings and divine masculine readings that they have out there, the storyline is always the same. The divine masculine is aware that the divine feminine has pretty much done all this work, and that divine feminine is so devoted, and yet he's still testing her. Yet divine masculine is still testing her resolve, right? So he went as far as incarnating in the physical, portraying himself to be one person to see if that was going to trigger her, like pretty much trying everything to see what she would pretty much do in the event. He's testing her temperament, because divine feminine has the ability and the power to destroy so many people around her just by taking it out on herself. Okay. Just like there's consequences, right? Rage. So self-mastery of all these different things is essential. It's essentially what the storyline is about. Just like in the situation where, and you know what I thought was interesting, because they displayed Ken in the Barbie version as being more of the feminine than Barbie. Barbie was more detached, but she was actually the feminine. So they may be trying to hint, clue that, you know, maybe in Western it's reverse. A lot of the females are masculine and a lot of the masculines are feminine. But either way, because Ken, which was technically supposed to be the divine masculine, but he was more feminine, he crashed out. You know what I'm saying? Rejection from her was equivalent to him kind of like losing his shit and pretty much feeling like he was sick and tired of being tested by her, not getting what he wanted. And so in so many ways, his response to the situation was, I'm going to be self-destructive. The genders don't matter. It's about the response to the triggers. So I feel like with this passion energy, this is about response to triggers, okay? Because if you see here, The Knight of Wands energy is still in a stage of development, right? Now, I don't know why they're saying it yet, but we have development. So a lot of the relations or encounters are here to help you develop yourself so you can have self-mastery over your passionate energy, because passion is required. When you love something so much, it can become catastrophic. And I feel like the way it ends is the second reincarnation, the second coming, was pretty much them getting their shit together. So the first time around, not so much, but the second time around, it feels like it's at a higher level, a higher vibration. And so you're going to feel it, Ascension tension, okay? Because like I said, Pravali, I don't know if that's her name, but the second reincarnation, the second coming of divine feminine energy, she went through shit. She went through test after test, and it was like, it wasn't no little test. She went through isolation. She went through pain. She went through attacks. She went through a lot of shit. It was almost like, that's love. Divine masculine, that's love. But at the end of the day, what that showed is that divine masculine and divine feminine will go back and forth and do things to each other that from the outside looking in, it looks like this doesn't make any sense. But from a higher, elevated, evolved perspective, you will notice that like that's their job, to challenge each other. It really is. That's pretty much what it's saying. And how does she challenge him? Great question. Well, she challenged him by, I have to really think about it. If she was to challenge him, she had to keep pulling him out of his comfort zone. Like, eventually he comes to her, but for the most part, it does start off with her constantly trying to wake him up, snap him back into it. And a lot of times it happened that way through putting herself through rigorous meditations and rigorous sacrifices as a way of pretty much surrendering the density, surrendering anything that kept her in her mortal stance. Okay? And it's like, no matter how much supposedly like the God came down and told them like, hey, they have to be together, it was still, humanity still struggled with their dynamic because Shiva was rebellious and he was pretty much an enigma to society. And Shakti was deemed as being like, girl, you lost your shit being in love with somebody like that. But it's like, hold on. You can't make sense of certain shit. And that's kind of like what it was really about. Okay. So we have finish line here. 444. We have a marathon. We have boss up in reverse. We have follow spark. See, okay, so because the divine feminine went through incarnated, people felt like, especially her father from the first incarnation, felt like she was falling in love with a deity, something demonic, right? And because no one saw her within the world as being the true essence of the Supreme Mother, only outlaws knew her like that. Only like creatures from other dimensions pretty much recognized her without her even knowing who she was yet. But everyone that she was born into the world and stuff like that pretty much just saw her like everyone else. They just felt as if it was abomination for her to love someone that didn't participate in, yeah, in the conformity of existence. Because again, Shiva, divine masculine, was outside of that. So so because pretty much she agreed in the beginning, like she agrees to let him go, so that way splitting each other up, like splitting them up and working in tandem like that, was in order for was to give birth to it's like the void. What they were saying was for the universe to experience itself. Okay. So for a period of time, you're going to feel like in order for you to be in this meditative state, that you are not, you are falling behind in the competition, like you are not keeping up with the status quo. And that's far from the truth, because this is a marathon. This is a lifetime evolution. And so for a minute, you may feel like you're not following or doing your part, or, because you're not getting it's like I'm doing whatever I can to release whatever baggage I have in order to manifest my divine masculine, my divine feminine. But the truth of the matter is they're still not coming in. Like, you've released everything that you released, but the only thing that you haven't been, it's like the only thing pretty much left to release would be your ego, right? It would be your desire to participate in your desire to participate in the society rat race, like you're still participating in the game. And it's like wanting a seat at the table, but never receiving your invitation. And so you try to go anyway, even against divine masculines. Like, hey, maybe you shouldn't go. Maybe you shouldn't try so hard. Maybe you should just enjoy life, slow down. It's like she took it as, how could you say that? How could you tell me to, not participate? Everybody's going to be there. And so because she desired to be still like, hey, I haven't seen my family in so long, or I haven't seen these people in so long, and I want to go back around them. Because she still desired to be a part of the charades, when she got there and she found out that everyone there was just trying to make a mockery out of her, she felt triggered. And so ultimately, in order for you to go the distance in your lane and really show up for your divine masculine energy within yourself and feel as if you still have a lot of energy, you still have a lot of juice to go the distance, you're going to have to sacrifice your need for validation in order to feel as if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, if that makes sense. Because it's like saying there's no award for this role. There really is no recognition for this role. It's an illusion to think that there is actually a reward for doing your life purpose, or a reward for, like, if you still need your flowers, if you still need your validation, if you still need a lot of those different things, it's because your divine feminine energy is still seeking validation. Okay, like, hey, I'm the one that gave you life, or I'm the one that you wouldn't have the air without me. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what that's saying. Because symbolically, If she rescinded with her in herself and she just shut everybody out, that's because she did her last little big one, her little curse, okay? And she like pointed her finger at her father, and she was like, "You're pretty much gonna regret this day," or whatever. So many words, and then she rescinded it into herself, and she experienced pure bliss of herself. But again, everyone else, while she was so far removed from her own creation, everything else went to hell, literally. And so it's like, this time around, it's divine masculine's duty to really test divine feminine to make sure that you can go the distance. Because if if people's mockery triggers you, or people not respecting you triggers you, you're gonna find yourself being mad, and then you'll wield the power of your true divine feminine energy. And it'll have consequences, because it will really hurt your divine masculine to lose you, and this person doesn't want to lose you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't do me like that. It's so romantical, you know? I suffocate when you're away from me. So much love you take from me. I'm going out of my mind. So try not to focus on bossing up and competing with anything. There's nothing to compete with. Just be who you are. And if it's, and if you feel like there's nothing to do, I feel like when you get to a place where you feel like there's nothing else to do except just wake up every day and laugh and just enjoy life, the simple pleasures, then you'll really be ready for this connection. It's going to take a lot of maturity. Your divine masculine is going to challenge you so much to the point where you're going to be so mature by the time your divine masculine is done with you. You're going to be so mature and so at peace within yourself that there's nothing this person can do to you. And then he will reveal himself to you. I told you what I told you. This is why there's so many obstacles along the journey. This is why there's so many. And look, we have the Kabbalah tree of life: integration, life lessons, emanation. And so it's like, when you're no longer focused on how many more lessons, how much longer, when are you going to teach me Kung Fu? When am I going to get my bird? When you're no longer focused on none of that, the ending, you start to realize that there is no ending. There is no ending, only beginnings. And you'll stop feeling as if, when is this person going to stop? When is this person going to come? Like, you'll stop watching the clock. This is all about you learning, Taurus, how to stop watching the clock, how to stop trying to control the lessons. Eventually, it's not about necessarily being numb and detached, but to a degree it is, because your divine masculine within you has to experience what it feels like to be so far removed from situations that he maintains self-mastery. Your him within you has self-mastery. And it may be difficult. Okay, we have caution. But it's like saying, the more that you focus on, it's like the less that you focus on what people are saying about you, or if you're not having anything going on that's dramatic, like, oh shit, something must be coming because it's been too peaceful. No, that's just your passion and energy. Like, when things are going really well for you, you can get bored. Y'all may have like Aries, Sagittarius significant placements in your chart. So sometimes you may manifest, a lesson, because imagine having nothing else to do except be with yourself. Be with your divine masculine and divine feminine within yourself for all eternity. We have power, I feel like the more you become comfortable with going through the lessons and you see it coming and it's just like, oh, I welcome it. The more you welcome the lessons and the experiences, the more you don't need to be reminded of what I'm telling you right now. And you'll see how it's all connected and it's all necessary. And you'll feel whole and complete within thyself. And that's when you've really ascended. Something's about ascending within yourself. Not ascending within, but yeah, pretty much. And it's so you can access your nirvana. And everybody's nirvana is special to them. And so it's going to look different. I'm getting like tingles all over my body and cold chills. Maybe it's because I'm looking at this mountain. And a lot of times when I look at imagery, I'll start feeling as if I'm there. Interesting. Hold on. All right, we are back in action. So we have the 8 of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and then we have the Hierophant. So what you need to know, Taurus, is that someone is going to make a grand gesture to kind of like bring this connection back together, okay? For you guys to get past some type of emotional detached energy here. With the 5 of Cups in reverse, this is like getting over any type of disappointments in the past, okay? Whatever emotional triggers have arisen to this point, it is to literally test the faith, test the strength of you guys' love for whatever it is that you're doing. Some of you guys, it's something that you're doing. For others of you, it's a combination of love and career or whatever. The King of Swords, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. They could be a Virgo, Cusper. The 5 of Cups in reverse. And we have the Sun. Someone could be reincarnating very soon as well. Because we have 5 of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles. Someone could be in the spiritual realm and they're about to reincarnate through a child to be like to take physical form. That's not for everybody. I'm also seeing someone's father reincarnate through their child. And it's going to be like karmic retribution. Whatever they weren't able to learn in life, they'll be able to learn through being like a child. Oh, that's interesting. You know how I said divine feminine, like being so enraged that they took their life? High Priestess, divine feminine energy. That may be why religion really speaks against taking your own life, because it's like the ultimate heartbreak. It brings about the ultimate state of revenge to masculine energy. It's like the ultimate offense to take one's own life. And I feel like the reason why it's the ultimate offense is because it kind of it's like you got to go the long route on the journey of healing and recovering from whatever you were supposed to accomplish in life. You took the long route. There's so much work that you have to do spiritually when you make that decision to check out, because it's almost like it delayed not only you but so many generations and stuff like that. And so it's like hitting the reset button, but you never get away from actually learning what you were meant to learn. And so you find yourself back at one. it's like the game is rigged, or reincarnation is kind of like designed to protect its self-interest for whatever it creates. Otherwise, what's the point of creation, I guess? If it's going to experience itself. Yeah, there's something about karmic retribution here. Power lines. Oh. Some people settle for the typical things, living all their lives in the wings. There's something about, yeah, the Queen of Swords. This is a pair. All right, you could have Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, Taurus placements, Virgo placements. With power lines, this is making me feel like not being bitter, not taking rejection, and not being bitter from rejection. I feel like a spirit baby has chose their parents as well. Or some, that's not for everybody, but we have the Ace of Wands. So divine feminine's greatest act of love for divine masculine would be devotion. There's something about devoting themselves to their purpose, sacrificing like, you have to sacrifice something in order to have something else. And I feel like the greatest sacrifice that divine feminine makes is one that she makes to herself, which in turn, she does it in the name of devotion to divine masculine, or something like that. Like no one can get that power, okay? Can like take her power or something like that. Because divine masculine should be in an energy where not even he wants to take her power, which means he probably even won't acknowledge divine feminine from a intimate level, because again, he's detached. He's so far removed from needing the physical beginning, because he's in the 5D for sure. He's happy there. And so how he knows that anyone that comes to him is not the right one either is because they probably would be wanting to have him initiate. So this divine masculine energy, nobody would be able to get him off his high horse. No one will be able to get him off his mountain. He'll be having his head on straight, emotionally detached from needing validation or physicality from another person. But as far as like sharing intellect, conversation, wisdom, advice, yeah, they could do that. But they're not lonely. Divine masculine is not lonely by a long shot. And this is how you'll also know who this divine masculine energy is. They wouldn't want to bring any child into this world that needed to learn a lesson. And a child does not mean a physical baby all the time. A child is creation. That's what divine masculine, divine feminine do. They create. So it's like, what are we creating? What are we bringing into fruition? What are we manifesting? There has to be a purpose. So long before divine feminine and divine masculine are together, and then there's perfect harmony and duality, Divine feminine will feel heartbroken and having to heal from rejection from divine masculine. It's a part of the story. It's held as old as time. Okay? And that trigger would pretty much put divine feminine in a state of fuck it. I got the energy today. I got time today. I won't be this wounded, helpless person that was rejected by someone. I'm going to be happy by any means necessary. That's what I'm seeing here. Now, when divine feminine is in that frequency, lessons will come. Lessons will come, and people will come in to trigger that. Okay, this is the exact energy that they're waiting with for you on. Waiting. It's like that extreme where it's like, what's the point? And sometimes the point is to literally do something that gets you in your feelings, that makes you feel uncomfortable. I don't know what it is about your feelings, but when you feel some shit very deeply, but the person that you want to hear it come from doesn't give it to you, it's really just about like embracing it. Like, I feel this is uncomfortable, but I embrace it. And you just, it's like a way of like a calming. It's like, I love, it's like, like that calming feeling that it's not like petting a lion, but it's like calming, like caressing, stroking the lion. Yeah, so you would have to practice mindfulness meditation. Otherwise, you'll be triggered into bitterness. And bitterness brings about more challenges. Yeah, and then it needs the cycle repeats itself. There's so many versions. Yeah, divine masculine, divine feminine. There's so many versions to it. It's a very interesting story to follow. You know what I'm saying? That's the most I could say. Is very interesting. We have sweet success. It's not difficult to get everything you want and enjoy it. Get what you want. We have love disguise. Go beyond superficial looks and see who they truly are. So y'all both are wearing masks. Something about seeing who you truly are on a soul level. Being your authentic selves. Against all odds. And then we have ticking clock. Yeah, something is coming. Let love unfold naturally and give it time to grow. Devotion. I cannot. This literally at the bottom of the deck says devotion blooms. Nurture both blossoms and thorns with tenderness. So nurture both blossoms and thorns with tenderness. Damn, so this is pretty much saying like the good and the bad. Nurture whatever comes from a situation and handle every uncomfortable situation with tenderness. Ooh. I literally said the divine feminine it's about devotion. Not giving up on your creation or some shit like that. That's deep. All right, you guys. I'm sending you lots of love, wisdom, and guidance on your journey, Taurus. Until next time. Bye.